The first thing I noticed when I regained consciousness was the sound, like metal whales singing in an underwater cathedral. The air was thick, humming with energy, and every breath tasted faintly of copper. My head throbbed, and when I opened my eyes, I was no longer in my ship's cockpit. The stars were gone. Instead, I was surrounded by walls of shimmering crystal that seemed to pulse with life. I tried to move, but my arms were bound by a flexible metal ribbon that radiated heat with every twitch. My suit was gone too, replaced with a form-fitting garment that shimmered like liquid mercury. A deep, resonant voice echoed through the chamber. "He awakens. The human male survives transit." The sound came from a figure that stepped forward. A towering woman, at least 7 feet tall, with skin like burnished bronze and eyes that glowed an unsettling shade of teal. Her armor looked grown rather than forged, each curve flowing like it had been sculpted by light itself. Behind her stood 5 others, equally tall, equally radiant, each holding weapons that resembled living spears. They were all women, and every one of them looked like a myth come to life. The captive among giants. I swallowed hard, my voice croaking. Where am I?" The leader tilted her head slightly. Her hair, if it could be called that, was a cascade of luminescent filaments, each strand pulsing faintly as if alive. "You are aboard the Vastora, vessel of the Ilith Dominion," she said, her tone clipped and formal. "You trespassed upon sacred coordinates. You were retrieved before your craft disintegrated." Her words hit me like cold water. My ship, the Orpheus II, was gone. "I didn't mean to trespass," I said quickly. "My jump drive malfunctioned. I was just trying to chart a stable corridor through." "Silence!" The command wasn't shouted, but it hit me like a physical force. The ribbon around my arms tightened, sending a jolt of warmth up my skin. Another warrior approached the leader and murmured something in their musical, clicking language. The leader nodded, then faced me again. "You are male," she said, like the word itself was alien to her tongue. "And human. Curious. Your species was thought incapable of higher dimensional navigation." Her gaze lingered on me, intense, studying. It wasn't hostile exactly, but it wasn't friendly either. I forced a weak smile. "Guess I like to surprise people." That earned me silence. The others exchanged glances, unreadable. Their glowing eyes flickered in strange rhythm. I realized then that I might have just violated some unknown custom. Finally, the leader said, "I am Commander Thalera. You will answer my questions. Cooperate, and you may live." And that's how it began. My interrogation aboard an alien warship crewed entirely by warrior women. To the law of the Ilith. Over the next few days, if days even meant anything here, I learned bits about the Ilith Dominion. Their species had once ruled a star cluster called the Varan Expanse. They were a matriarchal civilization, bred for war and perfection. Every aspect of their lives revolved around strength, discipline, and beauty, though not beauty as humans understood it. In their culture, beauty wasn't aesthetic. It was symmetry of spirit, balance between emotion and control. To show vanity or seek admiration was considered a weakness punishable by exile. Compliments were taboo, insults in disguise as far as they were concerned. And yet I didn't know that at the time. Thalera questioned me daily. She wanted to know about Earth, humanity, our weapons, our technology. I tried to give vague answers, careful not to sound threatening. But I could tell she was curious beyond the mission. Curious about me. Sometimes she would linger after the others left, studying me like I was a puzzle. One time she asked, "Your species is physically frail. How have you survived?" "Teamwork," I said. "And imagination. We don't have claws or armor, so we built them." We think our way out of danger. She seemed to consider that, her expression unreadable. Imagination, she repeated softly, as if tasting the word. The days blurred together. I started to understand a few of their gestures, their tones. The Eilith were graceful, precise, like dancers carved from light. But they were also lonely, in a way I couldn't quite explain. Every time I spoke, they listened like they were hearing something long forgotten. And then came the moment that changed everything. The mistake. They had brought me to a massive hall, the heart of the ship, filled with what looked like floating prisms of light. Thalara stood beside a translucent console, entering data as I watched. I couldn't stop staring. Even among her kind, she was different. Her armor more ornate, her movements more fluid. I'd never seen anything so simultaneously intimidating and beautiful. "Why do you look at me so human?" she asked suddenly, not turning. Froze. Sorry. I just. Her head tilted, one glowing eye fixed on me. "You just." And that's when my tired brain made the worst possible decision. "I just thought you were beautiful." The silence that followed could have split a star. Every Eilith warrior in the hall froze mid-motion. Even the lights around us dimmed, as if the ship itself was holding its breath. Thalara's eyes widened, her teal glow flickering erratically. She stepped toward me, each movement sharp, deliberate. "What did you say?" I swallowed hard. "I said, you're beautiful." Gasps rippled through the warriors. One dropped her weapon. Another made a sound halfway between horror and disbelief. Thalara's expression was unreadable, but her voice trembled ever so slightly. "Do you mock me?" "What?" "Well, it's a compliment." Her pupils dilated, her armor humming faintly. "A compliment? You dare to insult a commander of the Dominion with words of vanity?" Panic spiked through me. "No insult. On my world it's a good thing. Means respect, admiration. You're strong, and..." She raised a hand, silencing me. Her breathing was shallow, her glow fluctuating wildly. The warriors began whispering among themselves. I caught fragments of their language, words that sounded like forbidden, taboo, unthinkable. And then, without warning, Thalara turned and strode out of the hall. The others followed, leaving me alone in the humming silence. I thought I was doomed. For the fracture in the code. I expected punishment. Maybe exile into vacuum, maybe vaporization. But instead I was left untouched. My cell's restraints loosened, and meals continued to arrive. No one spoke to me for what felt like days. Then one night the door slid open, and Thalara entered. She wore no armor now, only a flowing garment of deep violet light. Her hair dimmed to a gentle luminescence. "You are fortunate," she said softly. "Any other commander would have you executed for that statement." Sat up. "You're not." She hesitated, then said, "Your words were disorienting. Among the Eilith, we are trained to suppress pride. To be called beautiful is to be accused of imbalance. Yet when you said it, something in me shifted." Her voice grew quieter. "It felt good. And that cannot be." I looked at her, seeing past the armor and alien features. Maybe it's not imbalance. Maybe it's connection. Where I'm from, telling someone they're beautiful isn't about vanity. It's about seeing them. Really seeing them. She stepped closer, eyes glowing faintly. "Seeing me?" "Yes," I said. "You're strong, brilliant, and yes, beautiful. You don't have to fear that word." For a long moment she said nothing. Then softly she reached out and brushed her fingers against my cheek, a gesture that, among her kind, I would later learn was the most intimate form of trust. I should report this, she whispered. But I will not. The uprising of emotion. Word spread through the ship. Somehow, the other warriors learned that their commander had not punished the human for his blasphemy. And stranger still, they began to question why. A few days later, I overheard whispers in the corridors. Some said the human's words carried resonance. Others began experimenting, quietly, nervously, repeating the forbidden phrase to one another. You are beautiful. Each time it caused visible tremors in their light patterns, like an awakening. The Ilith were changing. Thalara came to me again, visibly shaken. You've caused disorder, she said. The warriors are questioning the doctrine of balance. They feel emotions we were taught to bury for generations. They call it the bloom. I met her gaze. Maybe it's not disorder. Maybe it's evolution. She paced, energy crackling around her. The council will sense it. They will come. And if they learn the cause. She didn't finish the sentence, but I understood. Then let me help, I said. Let me speak to them. Her eyes widened. You would face the council of the Dominion. I grinned nervously. Why not? I've already survived telling a 7-foot alien warrior she's beautiful. 6. The trial of words. The council's chamber was vast, rings of light spiraling upward into infinity. 6 elder Ilith floated within columns of energy, their forms barely distinguishable from living flame. Thalara stood beside me, her voice trembling as she explained what had happened, how a single human word had disrupted centuries of conditioning. Finally, one of the elders turned to me. Human, it said, its voice echoing like thunder underwater. You speak dangerous heresy. Explain yourself. Took a breath. Where I come from, beauty isn't weakness. It's a reminder that we're alive. It's what keeps us reaching higher, fighting harder. You call it imbalance. I call it purpose. Silence. Another elder spoke. You infect our kind with corruption. Emotion leads to chaos. Emotion is chaos, I said, stepping forward. But it's also creation. Without it, you're machines. With it, you're alive. The chamber pulsed. Energy rippled through the air. Thalara's glow brightened, as if fueled by my words. The elders wavered, their forms flickering. And then, one by one, their energy columns dimmed. Perhaps, the eldest murmured, it is time we remembered what we buried. 7. The return. I don't know how long it took. Maybe hours, maybe days. But when it was over, the Ilith ship no longer felt cold. Its walls glowed warmer, pulsing like a heartbeat. Warriors laughed softly in the halls. They no longer hid their glow. They let it shimmer freely. Thalara approached me one final time, clad in armor that now gleamed with golden light. You have altered the Dominion forever, she said. The Council decrees that your kind is to be protected. You may return to your world. I hesitated. And you? She smiled, just a small curve of her lips, but genuine. I have battles yet to fight. But you have given me something greater than victory. What's that? Yes. She reached out, touched my chest. A name for the light within us. Epilogue. The signal. When I awoke, I was back aboard the Orpheus II, drifting near the edge of the Varan expanse. My ship's systems were restored. No trace of the Vastora remained. But as I activated the communications array, a soft chime echoed through the console, an incoming transmission on an unlisted frequency. A single message appeared, written in glowing teal script. You are beautiful, human. Never forget. I smiled, staring into the endless dark between stars. For the first time, the universe didn't feel so empty.